today. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua goes down tonight. And I got a few final thoughts, a few final takeaways. A couple of things I'm pondering with. Point blank period. All of this and more on today's episode of Matter of Fact MMA. What's up? What's happening? Let's go. What's up, guys? We right back at it. We right back with it. It's your boy Matt, and we are here to talk about tonight's fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. A fight that's being billed at heavyweight. And let's just get right down to it. Anthony Joshua is a legit heavyweight. Anthony Joshua is coming into this fight like 243. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around that range. Jake Paul is coming in anywhere from like 213 to 215. Right? Let's be honest. Jake Paul, we all know, is not a real competing heavyweight. Right? Meaning heavyweight is not his optimal weight class, right? Honestly, let's be real. A lot of other fights, a lot of his other fights, Jake Paul fought at like in the 280s, somewhere around that range. You know what I mean? Let's be real. Jake Paul has made way too much money, all right? Jake Paul done went out there and beat the brakes off too many Tyron Woodleys. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with the Tommy Furies. He's been in there with Anderson Silva. He's been in there with Mike Perry. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with too many people. It's too late in the game. He's been in there with Mike Tyson. At this point, bro, he's done made too much money. He ain't cutting no more weight. All right? Jake Paul's like, what? You want me to go out there and cut weight and then go beat the brakes off of a former MMA fighter? Nah, I'm cool on that. I ain't even ready to do all that no more. Okay? So, at this point, Jake Paul, clearly, he's coming in strong. You know what I'm saying? He looks strong, but he's not shedding any poundage, right? He's not shedding any weight, so to speak, right? So, when you're looking at that, this is not somebody that should be competing up above 200 pounds. With that being said, Anthony Joshua is legit at this weight class, of course. He's legendary at this weight class, okay? He's in the top 5 heavyweight fighters that have been relevant over the last 15 to 10 years or so, right? When you look at that time period, when you're talking about, we're not talking about skill or pound for pound, but we're talking about Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? These are ones that we're talking about, right? Let's keep it honest. Let's keep it 100. That's who we talking about. Anthony Joshua is one of them. I didn't put them people in any certain order either, right? And I'm not saying Deontay Wilder can go with anybody skill for skill. But if you was around for that point in time when Deontay Wilder was ruling the heavyweight division as far as the heavyweights they would offer up to this man. I know there's plenty of people overseas. I know there's plenty of people around the world. But for the men that they was offering up to him, it was appointment viewing television on some of those fights, right? But man, Anthony Joshua stepping in there with Jake Paul. Let's be honest. We see what the play is. What's the play? What's the play on the Anthony Joshua side? Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury. Finally, Tyson Fury has decided, we all knew he wasn't going to be retired. That's why I never made no video about it, right? Like this homie, he lost twice to Usyk and was just like, nah. You know what I'm saying? And he still don't feel like he lost either fight. But let's be honest though. The first one was closer than the second one. He clearly lost the second one. You might be able to make an argument for the first one, but I got Usyk all day. He retires. We all knew, man. Tyson Fury's cut from a different cloth. He's of a different ilk. You know what I'm saying? Tremendous word for a dude from Louisville, Kentucky. Right? So we all knew when he said he was going to retire, he wasn't really going to retire, right? Shout out to the Louisville Cardinals, you know what I'm saying? Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Louisville Cardinals. Pat Kelsey, holla at me. I appreciate you, everything you're doing for the city. Anyway, let's get back to it. So what I'm saying is, bro, is that we knew Tyson Fury was going to come back, right? We knew Usyk wasn't trying to go out there and beat the brakes off of him a third time. Not saying Tyson Fury got the brakes beat off of him, but still, there's nothing in it for Usyk for a third fight. We knew there wasn't nobody left for him to fight. He already tried out there for a fourth time against Deontay Wilder, right? So at the end of the day, man, it was going to have to be Anthony Joshua. It was going to have to make sense. These two were going to fight years ago if it hadn't been for the contractual obligations after Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder. And he had to go out there and beat the brakes off Wilder again. So, with that being said, we knew Tyson Fury wasn't going to retire. There wasn't many people left for him to fight where it financially would make sense. You know what I'm saying? So enter Anthony Joshua. That's the play, right? They've already made a pre-announcement. Nothing set in stone, but it's already been a pre-announcement. Shout out to Riyadh Season, you know what I mean? So at this point, that's the fight. That's the fight that they pumping. That's the fight that they building up. That's what's in it for Anthony Joshua. All right? A clean, smooth win, make a ton of cash, millions and millions, a good 50 million, right? If not way over that, right off into the sunset. Wait to set that date against Tyson Fury. This is going to be huge. This is on Netflix. It's Friday night. We're about to go into a holiday week. It's a big deal. Everybody's watching. You know, we got the press run ready for Tyson Fury to advertise this fight. That's what's in it for Anthony Joshua. Let's flip to the other side. Jake Paul. What's going on here? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. Jake Paul was supposed to be stepping in the ring with Tank Davis. Gervonta Davis, right? Gervonta Davis gets in some type of trouble again or something happened. I don't even know. I don't really want to dive into no type of accusations, no type of trouble. Who knows what's going on with Gervonta Davis? He seems to be a little bit mixed up. And I feel like he lost for sure when he took a knee to Lamont Roach. Nevertheless, man, here's the deal. I think Jake Paul was on the hook with Netflix. I think Netflix had already had everything set. Everything was ready to go. They had already started the advertisement of this fight. Gervonta Davis is out of the fight. Jake Paul's got to deliver. Francis Ngannou wasn't smart enough to go ahead and take that easy bag. He had to pivot. He couldn't just go with any heavyweight, right? He couldn't just go with any heavyweight. Yeah, there's your Chizuras out there, you know. There's a lot of people out there. Zhang. There's a lot of people, bro, right? That are heavyweights that are trying to really emerge in that spotlight. You know what I'm saying? But financially, and Netflix is putting a lot behind this. They want the spectacle of it. You know what I'm saying? Netflix is in the spectacle business when it comes to their sports, right? Netflix is in the spectacle business. Don't come with no Chisora. We can't. Who? Who? Did Francis say he wanted to fight? Francis doesn't understand it. He doesn't get what's going on. What do you mean? Well, what are we going to do? Enter Anthony Joshua. I'm sure they tried to make a play for maybe Tyson Fury and make a play for some other people. I know that they won't admit it, but I'm sure they made some plays for some other big names. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up with Anthony Joshua. And Anthony Joshua was smart enough to take that bag. So what I feel like where this fight really comes from, shout out to Jake Paul because he got some balls. Jake Paul got some balls. Because shout out to this man, bro. You can't say this man is scary at all. Because he went along with it. He told Netflix, I can get somebody with a big name. We'll move forward with this. Enter Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua dwarfs him. He's mammoth. He's huge compared to Jake Paul, right? But Jake Paul's still going to step off in there, right? We ain't even got to use one of them things, everything on paper. Everything on paper, everything in the universe, all the vibes, all the crystals, everything aligns up with, you know what I'm saying, the Aztec calendar. It lines up with Anthony Joshua going out there piecing him up and putting him away. And Jake Paul still signed that dotted line. He still took that fight. He's a wealthy man. He's a wealthy man. He could just live off the money he's already made, businesses and content for the rest of his life. He doesn't have to be going out here and getting his whole head bashed in. But he is against Anthony Joshua. A foe that I just don't see a ready way for him to beat. Now, he can go out there and get on his bike. He can move around a lot. He can move. He can move around a lot. And one might say, well, this is somewhat short notice for Anthony Joshua. Yeah, you know, Jake Paul already knew what he was getting into, but this is somewhat short notice for Anthony Joshua. So, you know, he looks to be in shape, but looking to be in shape, he seems like a guy that always looks like he's in shape. But to really be in there in ring shape, I don't know. But can Jake Paul really push a pace? I doubt it. Not against Anthony Joshua. But still, it's like an 8-round fight. 8-round, 9-round fight. I believe it's 8 rounds. Shorter fight. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul goes in there. He moves around a little bit. He tries to evade. You know, Anthony Joshua lands a few jabs that look solid on Jake Paul. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul might hit him with a body shot. Little soft, little tap, let him know, yeah, I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? Might hit him with a little jab. You know, then Anthony Joshua hits him with a few more solid jabs that wobble those knees of Jake Paul. Rattles him, makes him feel it. Not wobbles him, but his body, he feels it. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul tries to move in. I feel like Anthony Joshua sticks him, drops him. A decent shot. Not a hard shot that should put a man out, but drops him. He either takes a knee or he falls to the ground, but not out. Nothing like that. I think the real story of the fight, regardless of how many seconds you want to count, you might count to 20. Jake Paul's going to get up within that 10-second marker of that knockdown from the referee. That's the selling point. That's Jake Paul's win in this fight. I feel like he's going to get knocked down once. He's going to get back up. He's going to beat the 10 count. Even if the referee could count to 50, one way or the other, he's going to give him a way to make it up by 10. Jake's definitely hurt at this point. Jake moves forward. Maybe he lands like one jab on Joshua. Maybe, you know, maybe one punch. Not anything of any significance, but a labored, I just got wobbled for real by heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua, multiple time over heavyweight champion. You know, doesn't matter what he's holding right now. He might land one shot. That's the win for Jake Paul right there. Because in following that, Joshua, if he has to use another jab, it sets up the kill shot. Knocks Jake Paul down to the ground. He doesn't beat the 10 count, or he's so wobbled the referee automatically stops the fight. And that's it. That's the end of it. It either goes down in the first round or the second round. If it don't happen in the first round, it's because Jake Paul moved around a whole lot and Anthony Joshua obliged him and moved around with him. It goes down like the second round. Shouldn't really make it to the third. The third if they want to make it eventful, right? And they're both men right out of there, bro. And that's what it is, man. I don't really have to try to paint nothing. I mean, because if there's anything that Jake Paul does to Anthony Joshua, if it goes to a decision, right? If it makes it to a decision, he somehow beats Anthony Joshua, fair play to him. But we not get ready to sit here and try to fathom those type of things. We all know it's combat sports and it could always happen. And we know about trap fights. And the big fight set in front of Anthony Joshua is against Tyson Fury. So if this is the trap fight, it's a hell of a trap when you Anthony Joshua and you take a L to Jake Paul. And maybe you deserve to be trapped. You know what I'm saying? Got trapped with a year 5 times in a row. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, man. I don't know, man. Let me know what y'all think. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know how you feel about this fight. Let me know what you predict. What round does Anthony Joshua win? Or are you brave and bold and you feel like Jake Paul's going to win this fight? Let us know in the comments. And once again, I do want to thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Matter of Fact MMA. And I'll check you next time. Peace.